I often joke around that no one has spent more time in this space than I have. I remember getting the keys 12 years ago to this building. It was shut down. It was an abandoned church. And we had the task of creating something new inside of something old. And of course, we knew that that was going to mean change. And I can remember still trying to put together worship in a space that incorporated both the old and the new. Like, I remember the cross. A lot of you know this story, but the cross was built out of the wood from the old pews that used to sit in this space. It was a beautiful symbol of one thing ending, but something else beginning. I can remember being in the office. This was before worship ever started. And I would come out here like a few times a day and take a sledgehammer and just hammer away the plaster that used to be on this wall to kind of reveal the brick. And when I got up to the top, I remember just stopping. And if you look up there, you can still see like a rough, unfinished line of plaster. And I always thought that was a good symbol because we're all unfinished as people when we step in here. This building is unfinished. Our story is still being told. We knew that ultimately this was not going to be the place where God kept us, even though it's the place where God started us. It's really crazy to imagine that it's been almost 12 years to the day that we had our first worship service down here in this basement. And I remember at the time, it was so bad. The walls were crumbling. It had this old faux wood paneling. It smelt down here like a church basement. We had a clear sense that God was going to do something significant in this space, but it was never about the space. It was about the people and what Christ was going to do in their life because of this building. I remember sitting right here actually, having a lot of the same feelings then that I have now. Wondering what was going to happen, if anyone would show up, being scared, thinking about the risk involved, the discomfort in doing something new. And then something crazy happened at that first service on September 17th. This place was full. We had 288 people. People were even sitting up here in the balcony. And ever since that time, we've gotten a front row seat to watch how God has used this church to change lives. People will ask me, what do I remember most? And we've done a lot of fun things in here, but it's always people, and it's what happened to people when we were gathered in here. I just remember all the hands that I've shaken, all the weddings that we've done, the baptisms that we've celebrated, and just those moments that all of us have had aha moments, or those mountaintop experiences, or maybe just a moment when God spoke to us, or the Spirit met us when we were at a low point in our lives.
So it was in this very space that, I felt God call me to a different kind of following. It was right over there that Matt was preaching a sermon about multiply, and how it wasn't about our own experience, but it was about creating new space for new people. And I felt God saying, yeah, you've been following, you've been watching, you've been involved, but now it's time to get into the game in a different way. And I felt God challenge me to create more opportunities for new people that were far away from God to be transformed by Jesus.
We started the church in order to welcome new people to experience Jesus. So growth was a sign that the Holy Spirit was moving among us. Of course, since then, we've started a second site, a third site, and we knew that ultimately this building wouldn't contain what the gathering was becoming. Am I sad to leave this space? Absolutely. But I am incredibly excited. It's going to allow us to just continue to invite so many more new people to come and experience Jesus. We're going to have thousands more stories. And an image that keeps coming to my mind is, one door is closing, but another one's opening. And something new awaits us on the other side.
Today we find ourselves in a unique position to not only celebrate the ministry that has happened here in this space and the gathering overall, but to look to the future that God is preparing for us.